Good morning, Saints. Happy Saturday morning. It's a blessed, chilly Saturday morning. We're expecting snow today. So after it all melted over the last few days, and now we're expecting another 2 or 3 inches of snow. But thank you for joining me for this morning's devotion. I have a heavy heart. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just, it's just everything that's going on. Okay. Um, but first. Day 10 of my Bible read through. And it covered Jacob having his name changed to Israel, having wrestled with the Lord all night. And it ended with one of Jacob's daughter, Dinah, I believe it was. She was assaulted by a guy named Shechem, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't write any notes down, so I'm drawing upon my memory here. And he desired to have her, and so they made a deal with Jacob and his sons that if they were to circumcise themselves and his household, that he could have her as his wife, and the sons of Jacob could take wives from his family. And so and he agreed. Uh, and then so he circumcised himself and his whole family. And while they were in the process of recovering, the sons of Jacob slaughtered him and his whole family and took his livestock and his women and children. And it's just amazing, you know. And it's to read these stories now, and when I see so much deception going on, it's the last few chapters, especially with Jacob's life, it's just filled with deception and lying and trickery and all that. And it's amazing how even still God chose to use these people to fulfill His covenant to mankind. You know, and it just reinforces that it's not about who we are, but who the Lord is. Okay. And so, yeah, that's all I'm getting from these readings so far is just the level of lying and deceiving that I see going on, the trickery behind it all, the violence behind it all. But I understand that these were back in those days, and the culture was totally different from what we know and understand today, right? And so it's a good read through. I understand it serves a purpose, all that was written for us to be reminded of, and so yeah, and so my Bible read through continues on. All right, now I have a heavy heart over just the state of things, you know, and I know that the Bible said. So I try to look at this situation, especially with this lady who lost her life to the ICE agent, when she was 100% wrong. Okay, and she was. I mean, there's no way around it. You know, for her to put herself in that situation, she did it to herself. Okay, you know, and so, you know, and I try to be open minded and try to see it from both sides. And the fact of the matter is, she is out protesting law enforcement, right, doing their job, and is being a criminal in the process of her protest. And I'm all for protesting. Okay, that is our right as Americans. Protest, okay, but when you're blocking the street, when you're refusing lawful orders, when you're just being a flat out nuisance and a criminal in your protest, then this is what you put yourself in jeopardy of, you know. And the fact that they're canonizing this woman and making it seem like that she was just minding her own business, and this ICE agent just rolled up and just executed her in the middle of the street, like the narrative that the left is spinning this whole story to rile people up. And now they have all these protests planned across the country and even here in my state. And that really was disheartening to me because here in Michigan, you know, we're not so much we're definitely not a sanctuary state and all that. And so we've been kind of like on the sideline of a lot of these uh, political issues. All right, we voted for Trump here in the last election. Michigan went for Trump, and so overall, as a people, for the most part, we've stayed away from these polarizing issues, but now it is beginning to gain ground here in Michigan, okay? And that is disheartening for one thing, to see that all these anti-ICE protests are springing up here in Michigan, and I feel like that if that begins to take hold here, then, we are really in trouble as a country. How are you having anti-ICE protests? I'm saying these people are doing the job of rounding up illegal immigrants who are in our country illegally, for the most part. I mean, just that part alone, okay? I know people say, well, a lot of them are just good people. Okay, whatever, but they're here illegally, all right? And they're drawing upon our resources that should be going to American citizens, and the bottom line is that ICE agents, that is just their job. They're not kicking people's doors in of American citizens and harassing Americans. All right, their job is to round up illegal immigrants and to deport them. Right, and so how are we having anti-ICE protests against that because of a woman losing her life because of her own choices, right? And so, and I know that, and so I try to see this in a number of ways. I know I watched a video yesterday of a guy. He did one talking about the white female liberal is destroying this country, and and that's a term that I've always had an issue with because it seems, for one, you're pointing the finger at one particular race of people, white people, and then you're calling out, women, right? And and so I've always kind of like had, just I was always uncomfortable with that term in a sense, but I do see it, right? I do see that it is white female liberals who are the spearhead of this mindset, of this movement, and it's amazing because in their actions and in their thought processes, in their belief system, they are really causing more harm than good to everybody, to this country as a whole, and it is that mindset that's okay with having open borders. That's okay with having mass abortions. That's okay with transgenderism and homosexuality. That's okay with all this ungodly activity. It is the white liberal, right? And it's so amazing because by all stats and numbers, you're losing your country, but they feel like that what they're doing is helping. It just boggles my mind. They feel that protesting ICE agents rounding up illegal immigrants is the side of righteousness. I don't get it. They feel like that the woman who's out blocking traffic, harassing federal agents, right? When she has 3 children of her own, she could be doing anything else in the world but that, out poking the bear. But they feel like that what she's doing, she is on the cause of on the side of righteousness, and by her losing her life, that she's now a martyr for that. And it is so amazing. And we know that in the Bible said that in the last days, evil will call good evil and evil good. And we're seeing that these people are saying that this woman was doing good when she is the criminal, and the officer who was just doing his job and protecting himself is the bad guy. I can't. It's this is. And the most disheartening thing about it is that I see no hope for this country at all. It's getting to the point now where, especially with the all these protests scheduled, these anti-ICE protests, and so many people are supporting it, and the hive mind mentality of it, even despite the cell phone evidence. I know I kept saying it was body camera footage, but it come to find out it was the officer holding his cell phone. So even with the cell phone footage video that shows clearly that he was indeed hit by her vehicle as she was taking off, that's clear as day. You would think that'd be enough to silence this crowd, but they don't care about truth and facts, right? And so I know that it's a spiritual thing, right? And what's going on, what we're seeing is the spirit of lawlessness, and it's only going to increase. And I think that's why I'm so like just heavy hearted this morning, because I know that it is written. What we're seeing is only going to increase. It's not going to get better, right? The lawlessness that we're seeing, the delusion that we're seeing from Americans, right? Who think that what they're doing is righteous, being against our government and being pro-criminal, right? They think that they are righteous in that. Um, uh, not protecting life, but pushing agendas to take life for abortion. Not protecting children, but pushing agendas to mutilate children, right? And so that mindset that we're seeing from these people is increasing, and the spirit of lawlessness is increasing. There's no respect for authority. There's no respect for uh, uh, just there's just no respect for the rule of law anymore, right? And and that right there is what has a heavy heart. So, and looking at it from the Bible point of view, a Bible worldview, we know that it is the spirit of lawlessness, and it's only going to increase. It's not going to get better. So, what does that hold for us as a country moving forward? There's not really much to hope for, to be honest with you. And so just this morning I was thinking about this, and I said, well, dang, I swear I hope the Democrats never gain power again, because to me that would be the beginning of the end if we ever see a Democratic-led government. The borders will be open again. Abortion will be beyond the birth of a child, or actually getting to that point where you can start terminating babies after they're born, and then of course transgenderism will be the norm, right? And then we know there will begin the attack on us as Christians, our very faith. And so, but if that's what's to come, then that is what is to come, and we know that it is written that the times that we're living in was prophesied thousands of years ago. So we just need to be prepared for that, saints, going forward. Pay attention to the world around us. I'm getting to the point now where I just, I'm ready to just go find a cave in the mountains somewhere and just unplug from the world around me, because I see no hope for the future of it all getting better. This liberal mindset, this ungodly mindset is only growing, right? And I cannot see how it can get any better, outside of it just all out collapse and a rebuild of our country. And I know a lot of people are really hoping for that, some type of civil war, but that's not the answer. What we need is a revival of man turning back to God. That's what's needed across the board throughout our country. But I only see it getting darker and darker as we get closer to the return of our Lord, right? And so I just want us to be prepared for that, saints. I'm not a pre-tribulation rapture person, so all these things that I see transpiring is just really ushering us closer to the time of tribulation, to the time of great tribulation. And that's what has my heart so heavy. I suppose if I was a pre-tribulation rapture, I wouldn't be so. I'd still be, hey, yeah, Jesus is coming to get us any minute now. Yay. So, but I don't believe in that at all. Some secret rapture before things get bad. Maybe if I did, I wouldn't feel so heavy-hearted about things, right? But to me, that's a fairy tale. And so I think we should just be prepared for what's coming spiritually and emotionally, physically, all that, right? Prepare yourselves, saints, for to endure the times that are coming. Amen. And so thank you for joining me. I pray that you have a blessed and a wonderful day. Let's continue to pray for our brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering real persecution today for the name of the Lord. And let's be light and let's be salt.